Good evening. I'd like to call to order the East Hempfield Township Traffic Commission. Would you please join me and rise for a moment of silence followed by the Pledge of Allegiance? Now the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Minutes from November 15th, 2023. Do we have any comments on those?
I do not, thank you.
Is there a motion to approve the minutes from November 15th, 2023?
So moved.
Motion from Mr. LaFever, second from the chair. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries 2-0. Thank you. Traffic report.
A lot of the locations are the same that have been for the year. We spent a lot of time the past month down on Farmingdale, in the area of Farmingdale and Orville.
So I saw on Farmingdale that you spent, looks like 26 hours, which is a lot for sure. But only 10 contacts. Is it because they can see you, you're visible, and they're not?
Probably a mix of two things. There's a gravel pad there that guys have found in the park that's a good spot to sit and watch. And at that point, people don't see us there. Sometimes they're there just to deter, maybe doing some paperwork. Sometimes depends on where they sit, whether or not they're going to be visible. A lot of the stops that they have had are vehicles that are traveling south on Farmingdale that go against the flow of traffic around the pork chop.
Okay.
Or on Farmingdale going northbound and not stopping at the stop sign.
Okay. So I think this is something that I'd like to have us carry over to the Board of Supervisors, this issue as well. So in looking at it, and rather than put everybody, like pulling their hair out with it, I think we really have two choices. We can extend the barrier, the physical barrier in both directions, or we can eliminate it. I mean, I for all practical purposes, everything else I just think is going to be a Band-Aid on it. So,
May we abandon it? The center barrier, I believe you're referring. We used it to meet the
requirement for the light.
yes, the warrants for the light. And I know I had a private conversation with someone that in time, we'd probably be able to do that. I'm just wondering if time is yet sufficient. I think we might have a case of the potential risks that are resulting from what we've done as a reason to reconsider and possibly remove it. Just a thought.
So we,
Staff have thoughts on this.
yeah, so we did have the traffic engineer put out the MyoVision cameras so that we could actually collect continuous data of what's actually occurring at that intersection. And Chris Bauer, our traffic engineer, is currently analyzing that data. That data is scheduled to be presented at the January 17th Traffic Commission meeting.
Okay.
So perhaps at that meeting, that's the time after we see the data and have their analysis on what's actually occurring and probably some recommendations from the traffic engineer
Fair
to
enough.
then handle it at that meeting and then move it forward to the next board meeting, depending on what's discussed.
That sounds like a good plan. Okay, thank you.
Before we leave the traffic report, the first item is the truck route project. Is there an update on placing the new signage?
Springtime when
Springtime,
when the ground
Okay.
thaws and the signs can be
okay.
put in place.
I do really think that's going to help us in guiding the trucks the way they should go. I passed a rather long car carrier, an empty car carrier, single deck on Colebrook tonight, and I'm sure he was going up Junction. And he can't make those curves, you know, so, signs by themselves won't do it, but they'll definitely help.
Quick question, Greystone Road, I see you have, you logged some time there, but no contacts. Do you think that's
I have the speed study from Greystone. Speed study from Greystone. I think I would put in classification of some other roads in the township that we know on occasion, there's some people that exceed the speed limit, and it's gonna be on our rotation of places to hit on a regular basis.
okay?
Do your message signs, your creative message signs also have recording information?
Not the big sign does not.
Okay.
All right, Chief, did you want to highlight Indian Springs Road as well while we're?
Sure, Indian Springs, both of those roads were results of residents concerned of speed, so we wanted to do the studies. As you can see, Indian Spring, our 85th percentile was 34, average speed was 28 and a 25. Anybody that would really be classified as speeding, the bulk of it was 10 to 15 over the speed limit, which understandably in a 25 residential road, when you're getting your mail, when somebody goes by it, 36, 37 appears to be pretty fast. 15 miles per hour over was 2% of violations, 48 vehicles in the week-long period of time that we had the units out.
Okay. Okay. Any comments from the audience on the traffic study information that we just discussed? Okay. Any old business? Hearing none, any new business?
Well, since you mentioned old business and we have a few minutes, what's our status with Spring Valley? We left that without, I think, a determination of where some speed controls might be located.
Um,
I know there was some discussion between the engineer, I think, and our staff as to some locations, and maybe it,
I don't think we gave them clear direction for that, Ms. LaFever.
I don't think we did either. That's why I'm raising the question.
Yeah, I think the way we left it is for right now, until we find that, I think we did some efforts to mitigate the speed. We wanted to make sure that there wasn't an issue. There's some residents that were calling for speed bumps. And at this time, we're not ready to do that. That's kind of where I feel like we left off, and we were going to continue to monitor the road for speed and, to ensure that we didn't have a significant problem.
Having not heard anything, it suggests that maybe the efforts have borne some fruit. We have some positive results. Okay.
Okay, with that, we want to open it up to public comment. So is there anyone here for public comment?
Tina Dietrich, 842 Farmingdale Road. I don't have a lot to say today, just I wanted to thank you for your police presence. I do see a notable difference when the officers are sitting there versus not, as far as what's caught on our blink camera, as well as just us visibly seeing violations. That being said, we still are seeing a lot, like blue Tesla just went straight southbound in the wrong lane right before I came today. And so I am curious about the footage from the cameras that were set up. So I appreciate that we have that on the agenda for January coming up.
Thank you. Any on Zoom?
No.
All right, well, hearing none, or no others, I should say. We are going to close the meeting, end the meeting at 6:10 PM. We will be back at 7 PM for the regularly scheduled Board of Supervisor meeting. Okay, thank you. Thank you. We're going to work on it.